All right, let's talk about Taliese Fuaga of the New Orleans Saints, their first round pick at the tackle position. Definitely tackle is something they could use a potential upgrade at, as they've lost their really good tackle Ryan Ramczyk for the season. So definitely could use a good season out of Fuaga. Well, how well did he play in the preseason might be a good indicator of how well he could play in the regular season. So let's get into it. We'll start off with the play you see on your screen. You're going to have a Cardinals edge rusher going up against him one-on-one on this play. So, one-on-one blocks, this is what you want to see him be able to thrive in. You see this Arizona player is going to definitely try and use his speed. There's a lot of space right here. He's going to kind of try to get around Fuaga. And to be honest, it's looking like it's not a bad move. Of course, the difficulty if you're an edge rusher doing something like this is it is just going to take a bit of time to just get over there. But sometimes it's easier to run around something than run through something, so that's kind of the logic right here. But for Fuaga, that doesn't mean that he just has to let him go, right? A big thing he can do is put his arms on the side of that edge rusher and push him behind the quarterback. And that's going to be exactly what Fuaga does. Fuaga does have really good agility and is really good footwork and is able to get over and make a play like that. So that's something that, I think there was a lot of people coming out of college wondering if he could be a guard because of not the way some people bring up that an offensive lineman could maybe be a guard, in the sense of it's often used as a weakness of like, oh, I don't know if this guy, is good at some of this stuff. Maybe he just needs to be a guard. No, it's because he's so good at some of the aspects that usually you want a guard to be good at. Like, for example, something like this, where he is the left tackle on this play. He's going to start off double teaming an interior defensive lineman, and he's going to be the one getting up to the next level to block someone there. Watch how right off the bat, this double team block works really well, and he gets over and is now blocking a different Arizona player. This itself is already, I would say, pretty good by Fuaga, just being able to get over here. But watch him then drive the Arizona player all the way outside the numbers. Definitely got him out of position. So, again, I think for tackles, a lot of people really only focus on pass blocking, but run blocking matters a lot. It really does. I mean, being a good run blocking tackle, there's a lot of benefits in it. And, the Saints are a team that do like to run the ball, right? So having someone who can run block effectively, especially if it's not the best offensive line this season, having someone you can kind of trust to run your plays through could be actually a really big benefit. Heading over to this play, it's a 3rd down and 18, so obvious passing situation. These are really the toughest blocks for a tackle to make, I would say, because, like I said, it's an obvious passing situation. A lot of times you get kind of the threat of, okay, am I run blocking or am I pass blocking? And that can kind of fool edge rushers. They can't just get into their move as quick as they want to. Here, this edge rusher is basically saying, if you're running the ball, okay, fine, one of my linebackers will make the tackle eventually. I'm going to assume you're passing. So when this play begins, you're going to see that there was a little bit of a chip right there. That definitely helps out Fuaga. By that, I mean, you saw a Saints player kind of block the edge rusher. Fuaga is now blocking for a bit. You can kind of see how this edge rusher is trying to win right here, as Fuaga's left hand, since he's a left tackle, is going to be so important. It's not exactly where you would want right here, and so it could be a bit of a peculiar position, but watch how quick he's going to move his hands to get in position. Watch him adjust, get his hands right back, and again, is able to push the edge rusher behind his quarterback, gives the quarterback plenty of time, so that's definitely what you want to see. So yeah, again, I think that really, he was mostly winning. That's kind of the main takeaway I have right here. It's a lot of stuff like this. I feel like I bring this up on every offensive lineman video, where definitely a big part of what I'm looking for isn't just do you win, but it's how consistent do you win. And I saw consistently plays like this. It's a one-on-one block with the edge rusher towards the top of the screen. Fuaga is going to start this play, and right off the bat is just completely where he wants to be. Has his both hand placement where he wants, the feet where he wants, and is not really in danger of getting overpowered whatsoever. We saw him, I thought, pretty consistently winning out there. As you see, not much that Titans player could do. Again, quarterback has plenty of time to throw an incompletion, so that's always good. Able to make that work. It's nothing fancy. It's not going to get on any highlight reels, but you know what? Having a left tackle that you can trust to make the block consistently, I'm sure Derek Carr will enjoy that this season if that is what ends up happening. Heading over here, I'm not going to say he never took an L. He never had bad plays. He did have some. This one, you see that it's a one-on-one block. When it begins, you're going to see that this edge rusher is going to go for a little bit more of a creative move, kind of faking as though he's going towards more of an inside move or maybe even a bull rush, but then he's going to try and get towards the outside. Again, for Fuaga, his left hand is the most important one. That's what the edge rusher is trying to get out of the way, that left hand. And as you see, okay, the left hand is on the Titans player's chest, so it's not the end of the world, but the issue is it's not really far over enough to really be able to disrupt him too much. Because of this, the Titans player was able to get over. Good job by Jake Haener to move around and still make a play, but it wasn't a great block there on that one. It wasn't a complete disaster because there still was room for the quarterback to step up in the pocket, but it's not exactly what you're trying to do there. So again, got to show the wins, got to show the losses. I'll step in real quick just to mention that I do have a movie channel. If you like watching movies, check that out. The link is in the description below. Jackson Kruger Movies is the name of the channel. But yeah, back to Fuaga. I thought he played well. I really did. Yes, there was the loss at the end there. You're not going to win every rep. It is what it is. I thought he won a good chunk of them. And again, it is just the preseason, but it's optimistic, right? Because like there are guys who struggle in the preseason and struggle in the regular season. Well, it's not a perfect one-to-one. Everyone who struggles in the preseason struggles in the regular season, and everyone who's good in the preseason is good in the regular season. Like, you are more likely to be good in the regular season if you're good in the preseason, right? So because of that, I think that's the certainly it's the way I've always kind of viewed preseason is it's your first test, and he passed his first test. There's going to be plenty more tests along the way, but for, again, maybe Saints fans will disagree. I don't think this offensive line's looking pretty great with the Ramczyk injury at this point. So having a guy that you could potentially trust could go a really long way, especially at the left tackle position, because that's obviously the one guy you can't see. At least everyone else, for Carr, like, if there's pressure, he can see where the pressure is, at least in theory. So I think that's something that you look at and say, well, there is, there is hope there with all that. So yeah, I mean, I thought Fuaga played well. I did. I think that this was a good performance by him, and I think that I expect him to be pretty good. And the nice thing is he's not just a pass blocker, but a run blocker as well. Which, especially given they might be running the ball a lot, because I'm not sure if they with some of the other offensive linemen, they might just need to give him a break by putting some run blocks in there. So having a guy who can run block well certainly helps with all of that, I think. So yeah, those are kind of my thoughts on Fuaga and his preseason performance. So what do you think? Let me know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.